Hello everyone, dear subscribers and viewers of the channel. Vitaly Sokolov is with you. In this video we will learn how to work with images in GLEngine2D. And before we start, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up and write a comment. The description under the video contains details for financial support of the channel and useful links. Thank you all in advance. GLEngine2D can work with the following file types: TGA, BMP, JPEG, PNG, GIF. Work with images occurs according to pointers. The pointer is a variable of type cardinal. We declare a variable of type cardinal in the var section. Important. For best performance, image sizes should be a multiple of 2, such as 16 by 16, 32 by 32, 64 by 64, 128 by 128, 256 by 256, 512 by 512, 1024 by 1024, and so on. Next, you need to create or upload an image. There are several ways to upload an image. First way, this is loading an image from a file or resource. You need to call the load image method. In parentheses, we write the path to the file, its name and extension as a string of text in single quotes or a variable of type string. Next, the name of the variable into which the image is loaded is indicated. Or rather, which will store a link to the image in the cardinal format. After that, one of two values is specified. If set to true, the image will be loaded from a resource file. If set to false, the image will be loaded from a separate external image file. If no errors appear during the download phase when compiling the application, then the path, file name, and format are correct. To show how to load pictures from a resource file, we need to show how to create one and load images into it. In Delphi 7 it's done like this. Go to the menu Item Tools, select the item Image Editor. In the graphics editor that opens, click on the File menu item at the top, then select the new menu item. In the list that opens, select Resource File. Another window appears. We click inside it with the right mouse button and select the new item in the context menu, select the bitmap item in the list that appears. The settings window opens, where we specify the width and height of the image, as well as the color depth, number of colors. After you click OK, a graphical resource named bitmap1 appears in the resource file. If we right-click on it and select Rename, we can change the name of the graphic resource by which we will access this file. Next, right-click on the name of our resource and select Edit. In the window that opens, we can either draw our own picture, or open the picture we need in one of the graphic editors, such as Paint. We drag the image into it or open the desired image in it through the Open item. Then, using the Selection tool, select the entire image, either press the Ctrl and a key combination, or select part of it and copy it through the context menu with the right mouse button or using the Ctrl and C key combination. Then go to our resource editor and press the CRL key combination and V. After that, you can close the image editor. In the image editor, select the menu item file and save to save. In the window that opens, write the name of the resource file and select the path to save. For convenience, we save the file to the folder with our application, where the X file is located. Next, under the implementation command, you need to add a directive that will connect the resource file to our project. We also specify the name of our resource file there. To load an image from a resource file, we use the same load image method, but write true at the end. In my case, working with images from a resource file did not work in Delphi 7. Creating and working with a resource file in Embarcadero Delphi is largely the same. You need to go to the menu items project, resources and images, add an image here, give it a resource name and select the RC data type. In this case, you do not need to include a resource file in the code. You can see one of the work options on the screen now. The second way. This is a download from tBitmap. This is a file type that stores images in BMP format. The image must be with 32-bit color depth, that is, store the alpha channel, transparency. The add BMP image method is called. In parentheses, a variable of the tBitmap type is indicated from which the image is loaded. And then the texture variable is specified, into which the loading takes place in the TGL unit format. The third way allows you to assign an image to a tBitmap raster type variable. The getBMP32 from image method is called. The brackets indicate a variable of type cardinal, which stores a reference to the image that needs to be passed to the raster variable. And then a variable of type T bitmap is specified, into which the image is transferred. When transferring, the color format and image dimensions are transferred automatically as well. After declaring a variable of type T bitmap, you need to allocate memory for it using the tBitmap create method. Fourth way, loading animation. The load animation method is called. The brackets indicate the path to the animation file and its name with the extension. If the file is located in the folder with the X file of the current application, then only the file name and its extension are indicated without an additional path. Next are the dimensions, height and width, of the image that is being loaded, and then the dimensions of the image that is being loaded. After that, a variable of the TGA anim type is specified, which stores a link to the animation, that is, the variable into which the image is being loaded. At the end, one of two values is indicated: true, when you need to load from a resource file, or false when you need to load from a separate external file. At the moment there is a problem with working with GIF images. Perhaps in the future this problem will be fixed. If this problem persists, you can use the Vampire Imagine library, on which the GLEngine2D engine is also based. Fifth way, to load a raw texture, we call the load raw texture method. In parentheses, specify the path to the file, its name and extension in one string in single quotes or a variable of the string type, then specify the name of the cardinal type variable into which the texture will be loaded. At the end, the true value is specified if it is necessary to load from a resource file, or false if the download will come from an external file. You can create an empty image using the create image method. This can be used to create an image as a graphics buffer for intermediate drawing or for other purposes. We declare a variable of type cardinal. Then we assign the GLEcreate image method to it. The brackets indicate the width and height of the empty image. But keep in mind that the computer and operating system may have different limits on the maximum image resolution. For example, 4096 by 4096 pixels vertically and horizontally. This point should be specified for the required platforms. The draw image method is used to draw an image on the canvas. The x, y coordinates are indicated in brackets, then the width and height of the displayed image, then the rotation angle from 0 to 360 degrees is indicated. Then one of two values is specified to center the image. True, if the x, y coordinates should act as the center of the image and the upper left corner will be shifted to the left and above the center coordinates. This is the centering of the image. Or false if the x, y coordinates should be the top left corner of the image. Then we specify whether it is necessary to save the actual dimensions of the image. If you write the value true, then the image will be drawn in its original size. If the size of the displayed image is specified less than the size of the image, it will be cropped, and if the size is specified larger than the image itself, copies of the original image will be added in the form of a grid. That is, the scaling of the image is removed and the empty spaces are filled with additional copies of the original image. If the false value is specified, the image will be scaled, that is, stretched or compressed to the required size. Next, a variable is specified that stores a link to the image. Keep in mind that if you call the setColor method before displaying the image, then its settings will affect the color of the image output, that is, you can distort and change colors. There is also a drawTile image method. It only draws the top left side of the image. But in my case, this drawing went wrong. To draw an animation, you can either load each file and draw it as a separate picture, or load it as a single file as an animation, and then draw it using the drawAnyFrame method. The brackets indicate the x, y coordinates for output. Moreover, these are the coordinates of the center of the image, and not the upper left corner. Then the rotation angle is specified. After that, a variable is specified that stores a link to the animation file. It is also possible to draw on the image, texture, FBO. By default, drawing occurs on the form or component whose handle was specified when GLEngine2D was initialized. To draw on another image, use the beginRenderToText method. The brackets indicate a variable that stores a link to the image on which you want to draw the cardinal type. And then the width and height of this image of type glint, that is, the integer type integer, is specified. Next, you can write various commands that are needed to draw on this image. To exit this mode, you need to call the endRenderToText method at the end. After that, drawing will again go to the canvas of the form or components. GLEngine2D can also save an image in several ways. Saving the image should take place when the engine is in working condition, that is, you need to write commands between the begin render and end render methods. The first way allows you to save a bitmap. We call the save image method. Path and name are indicated in brackets so that the image is saved to a file at this path and with this name. The path is written either as a string of text in single quotes or as a variable of type string. If the given file and path do not exist, they will be created if possible, including folders and the file itself. Next, a variable of type cardinal is specified, which stores a link to the image that needs to be saved. The image will be saved in BMP format with a color depth of 32 bits. The second method allows you to save a vector image in PNG format. The save image as PNG method is called. The parentheses indicate a single quoted text string or a string variable that specifies the path and file name to which the image will be saved. Next, the name of the variable is indicated, which stores a link to the required image. When you exit your application or when variables and image references are no longer needed, you need to free up the memory that was allocated for working with them. This can be done using the free image method. The brackets indicate a cardinal type variable that stored a link to the image. The release of this memory is handled by the video card driver. That's all for me. If this video was useful or interesting for you, put your finger up and write a comment, as well as subscribe to the channel to be aware of the release of new videos. Subscribe to groups on social networks and to the Busty page. There are many interesting things there. In the description under the video there are details for financial support of the channel. Your help is very important. Vitaly Sokolov was with you. See you in the next videos.